Yo, it's Guido coming at you with a Tactics Talk. Thanks for tuning in and welcome back to this episode. I have a replay here that was on the forums. It's michaeltsoon, or michaeltsoon? Mike. He got Mike. Mike is in his T-34-85M. He said he came over from Blitz, just started World of Tanks, and was asking for help on the forum. Said he had an average game in his 34-85M and was looking for a little help. So I went ahead and downloaded his video and took a look at it. We'll talk about a couple things. First thing you'll notice, he's running about a 12 to 18 FPS. That's really going to limit some of his capability. He seems to do okay with it, but certainly an issue. Nothing you can do about it, minus buying a new computer or something like that. So that's just something he's going to have to work around. You also notice that it's 13 minutes and 34 seconds left in the game, and he's barely coming up the hill. Took him about a minute. Looked like about 30 seconds to load in. Another 30 seconds, maybe even 45 or so. Kind of sitting there looking around a little bit, and then he started moving. So the first thing I would say for you there, Mike, is if you were just AFK or it took that long to load in, noted, if you sat there for any amount of time, you need to start learning where to go pretty quickly, and you're new, so that's going to come. So let's talk about this map in particular. The fight that matters, I'm going to pause it here for you. The fight that matters on this map is up here. A lot of people will take mediums down here into the southeast, but that becomes kind of a stagnated sniping festival across here. Sometimes they'll get shots into the lower part of the town, but I like what you did. You came up. Now, whether that was by plan or just random choice, doesn't really matter. But I'd have kept pushing up here and helped this T-29 over here. As it turns out, you're going to move towards the lower part of the town. That is a pretty decent place, provided you don't get lit up. If you get lit up and pushed a little bit, you're going to get absolutely decimated by the guys hanging out here because they have free shots across on your side and there's no cover for it. But if you can work in here and stay hidden, you can do the same thing to these guys on this side and deal with their guys that are filtering through here, provided you don't get spotted. That can definitely be an issue right there. As far as those two shots go on that guy, that Tiger P, look at him where he is in the map. He's actually below the ridge line a little bit. This does go up a little and then drop off. And there are so many buildings between you and him. There's no way you're going to get a shot there. I assume it's the same on Blitz. You get a highlight of a tank that you can see. You may have thought you could shoot through the buildings. Realize, again, I'm not that familiar with the Blitz, but only some of the buildings on regular World of Tanks here, PC, are able to be shot through. And that's just a knowledge of the map thing right there. You were never going to hit that Tiger P. So you move across to the middle. We're taking a look, seeing if we can find the 3001. Good awareness. You see him lit. Taking a look. You can see that your guys up to the north lost. So hindsight says, well, if I'd have gone up here, I probably would have got it rolled up by the IS in the 01. It's also valid to say that maybe had you been there helping, you may not have lost the T-29 and some other guys. But as the situation is, you've come over here. So let's talk about working this bottom edge here, because the fact that you went up there probably actually helped you. I would say that where you've gone is not really a great meta position. I'd have taken that shot. Not really sure why you didn't right there. Definitely would have shot it, and that may be an FPS thing. What I'm seeing on my replay and what you're seeing are not necessarily the same two things. Take that. There you go. I'd have taken that shot too. You can tell by where it hit over there that it did not hit him because it hit the ground. I might have even put another one in there just for giggles. Blind shots are important, and sometimes you're going to get shots on those things. Got the Type 62, the A44. There goes the 34M. Starting to move in. Now you find this guy again. Good awareness on the map. Keep an eye on the mini-map and pay attention where those guys are. There's a shot. This guy's not very bright. He just kind of stands in and eats shots in the side, and down he goes. Pudel is shooting from over there. Now, if we stop for a second, that Pudel is right there, and as a matter of fact, you have shots on him all day. So try to watch for that kind of thing in this game. Probably a little more long-range sniping and stuff going on in World of Tanks than Blitz. If you'd have stopped right there, you'd had shots, and it doesn't look like you really noticed him on the minimap until a little while later, maybe right about here, I think, or a little after that, sort of driving down aimlessly. And then, oh geez, there's a Pudel right there. So it looks like you didn't really notice the red guy until he was on your screen. So try to watch the mini-map. I call it investigate. You want to investigate those red dots and see if you have shots. There's a good example of doing it right there. I missed that shot. That was weird. There's a couple instances where that happens, and that's probably an FPS thing, replay thing. You auto-aimed the SPIC. At that range, it's unlikely you're going to hit him. You need lead fire. And you're going to see a couple more examples, at least one that I can remember, of you not putting good lead fire on them and missing them. That's a good shot. You get lit, put a shot on him, and you back out looking to get away. You stand in for a second. He must be on a reload. There he gets a hit. Now, one thing I would say about autoloaders like that, or guys that reload pretty quickly, is you start to back out. Instead of continually going straight back, you may want to put a little lateral movement. In this case, downhill is going to be better for you. Plus, there's still some bushes along here to hide you. Maybe start a little lateral movement so that he's not simply shooting straight into where you were. You're going to eat another shot from him right here. Actually, that's the M44. Never mind. There it is. So one more shot, he just blind fires into there. Had you put some lateral movement on it, he may not have had that last hit on you right there. There's an artifact from the replay that has been noted before. You can see that it's showing 4 of his crew members stunned. That's simply not true. The stun animation doesn't go away on the replay sometimes. So now it looks like you don't have a whole bunch of a plan here, or a whole lot of a plan. You've got some guys sitting on the back edge in the north trying to take on the IKV, the AT7, KV-85. You got a Tiger P and an IS in the top there, and it's looking kind of rough for your team. Got a couple TDs over on the east side. They should get some shots if you can keep those dudes lit up. The IS and the Tiger P are moving into the edge of the town right there, but they're going to have a hard time pushing out of that because it's a long, flat area. So your mediums and your lights are spotting, but they're probably taking a lot of damage as they poke, and artillery's diving in there. There's a 13F3, just took out the 43 BIS. And you're coming up to use this bush. This is something you need to start learning quite a bit about in World of Tanks. How to approach things using cover and get into bushes, spotting things, taking shots where they can't see you. There you go. And you had a shot on him a lot sooner than that. That hit him. Whether it pinned, I don't know. Another shot on there. For a minute I thought you tracked him, but I think the artillery actually tracked him on that one. Looks like you're looking for, I don't know what happened. Oh, you switched. Okay, you switched ammo. That might have been what happened last time you switched ammo. That's possible. I didn't pay attention to that. I don't do a lot of switching ammo. If it's up and going, unless there's a very specific reason or good reason for it, I just fire what I got. It looked like you said, you know what, I need HE against this guy. I just realized as low a caliber as the 34-85M has, your HE is going to do things like that. Very little damage, tracking maybe. Now here's something to think about. That IS and Tiger P are just right up here in these bushes. This bush is just about big enough. You could actually stick your turret up above, get your spotting point, which is, I believe, right here on this hatch. Or, sorry, on the front of the gun. Pop that little spotting point up over there and see if you can't find those guys. Why? Because you got a bunch of shooters back here looking for shots. You're being careful, which is good, but if you look at the white circle here, these guys can't possibly see you. If they're outside the white circle, they're not going to see you. No way. And nice job, you see him. Good awareness of your depression and what you've got to do there. There's another example of requiring lead fire and just shooting straight behind that guy, kind of pointing it right at him. So you needed a little lead fire for that left to right movement, especially at that range. And that may be it, something about negative transfer from Blitz. Seems to be a much closer fight. Oh, that's unlucky, unfortunately. But your TD should be having a heyday with this guy. Ah, just missed him. Might want to think about gold on things like ISs. It was his side, so no big deal. But you do have a Tiger P and an IS still trolling around there, so gold may be a player. You do carry 9 of them, so that's good. I like that you're moving out of that spot. The entire team's going to know you're there to include their artillery. The IS goes down, that's good. The Tiger P, oh, right on, he's a one-shot. Type 62 is trying to work on him. Now that's a case where I may have just taken that shot. There's probably a bunch of buildings in between you and him, but take that shot and then move towards him. Good news is that the Type 62 abuses the poor guy, takes him down. There goes the KV-85. And that was an interesting case of where it looked like they had a huge advantage, but their hit points were so low that they were actually at a disadvantage, especially pushing into a bunch of guys sitting in bushes and hiding out. Now the AT-7 is in really good shape. I would charge over there and start taking him on. I think that's what you're going to end up doing right here. Yeah, he's below that hill. And some of that may be an FPS thing too, so you just got to kind of be careful with all that stuff. I don't have a lot of great advice. I don't run on an FPS that low. And I know it can be difficult. It makes everything very jittery. So we're approaching this guy. I thought this is kind of an interesting approach. It's not a bad idea what you're doing, but he's down below that little ridge right there, and he's taking on the T-60 or the Type 62. So that's a bit of awareness, map awareness, and see, he's just right in your way. Oh, that's gonna. Wow. Okay. You were very lucky you didn't shoot your own guy right there. 2 shots directly where you were pointed at that range worked out for you right there. As soon as that Type 62 started getting in there, I would have actually pushed in there a little harder, or you could have moved further across this ridge and got yourself a better angle, a better look at that guy right there. As you initially approached him right there, before the T-62 came over the hill, I'd actually come up above this hill a bit just to cover my approach. What I don't want to do is just have a little bit of my tank poke up over the hill and let him see me coming. If that Type 62 hadn't gone in there and I'd have gone along the edge of this ridge without a great shot and let him see me coming, he'd have spun around immediately and been pointing at me. What I'd be looking for as I came around this way is to maybe somehow sneak up behind him and get a shot in. Once the Type 62 jumped all over him, I'd have charged in there and looked for better shots. I'm going to be honest with you, man. You were really lucky that thing didn't go slightly down or slightly left, or you would have killed your own Type 62, or at least hurt him. I don't know if you'd kill him at 237 hit points. What's the alpha on this bad boy? 180, so you'd had to roll quite high to do that. Anyway, there's a lot to like right here. It looks like you have some knowledge and skill at the game based on blitz and just being a decent player right there. I know you said that this was a mediocre game, but for a bottom tier and a 2 or a 5-10, sorry, 2 tiers and a 5-10, it wasn't a bad game at all. I wouldn't say it was a mediocre game. I'd say it was, you know, pretty good actually based on what you were dealing with. What you're going to have to learn is a lot about positioning, the maps, all of that kind of thing in this game, and that really is what PC with artillery and the way the game's played is a lot about positioning and reacting to the fight, and is a lot less about raging around blasting things as fast as you can, which is what I feel like Blitz is quite a bit, just sort of raging around and blasting things. But I think you got a good feel for it to start with. Just throw a couple things out there for you. Alright guys, hope you liked what you saw. If you did, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Keep sending in those replays if you want me to do an analysis, or you just have a great replay or just a really bad replay. I'm happy to look at all of them. And as always, we will see you.